Greetings to you and to the viewers. We have seen today that there are a lot of tensions regarding and confusion regarding of Zelensky's statements, who is not legitimate anymore. He's not very strong in the today's equation, the international equation, and the geopolitical conflict between Russia and the Western system that is witnessing a lot of contradictions and tensions to a very high level. We listen every day contradicting different statements by Zelensky, and there is no way to depend on any proposals from Kiev today. We have seen a very strong path to talk about and what is happening between Moscow and Washington currently regarding the Ukrainian crisis. There is a U.S. Plan, as has been announced in the media. It is not clear so far. We do not know the items, but the situation in Moscow is much more clearer because the regions controlled by Russia are not negotiation cards. The principle of a trade-off between Ukraine and Russia are not possible anymore, especially for the Kremlin. But we have a new reality, a new geopolitical military reality that will impose a de facto, and the next equation will be formed by the understanding of the Trump new administration to the current situation. We have seen him blackmail Ukraine and Zelensky through what is called the mineral treaty agreement in Ukraine.
So, sir, you're trying to say that Zelensky basically has a very few cards to play when it comes to the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Given the negotiations that took place in Riyadh between the US and Russia that didn't involve Ukraine, how do you see the future when it comes to the peace talks, and what does this mean for Ukraine?
Zelensky does not have any cards to negotiate today. Talking directly to reach a settlement or a logical dialogue is now very clear between Moscow and Washington. We see today a lot of confusion in the European system, especially that the US proposal is not proportionate with the European situation that is so far committing to supporting Ukraine military-wise and economy-wise. And we have seen a new pack of sanctions today imposed on Russia, and the European Commission pledged $3 billion euros to Ukraine as military support. There is a lot of contradiction within the Western system between the United States and the European Union. In my opinion, now or later, Europe will have to follow the US decision, because Europe, since the beginning of this crisis, lost a lot, and they lost also their geopolitical edge, and Europe alone cannot support Ukraine with the military equipment to prolong the crisis. So they have to use the Macron visit today to Washington in an attempt to convince Trump to not negotiate with Russia. And I think this is part of the political bankruptcy of Europe, when we see that the cost of this war is now very expensive to all the parties involved, especially the European economies.
Okay, so sir, now Turkey is also trying or attempting to be in a mediator role. They met, or the Turkish foreign minister met with his Russian counterpart, and there's plans for also with the Ukrainians as well. What kind of role do you see Turkey playing when it comes to mediating between the two parties?
In my opinion, this mediation cannot be described as mediation, but Turkey is working as a platform for dialogue. That's what happened in Istanbul as well. Turkey is not even a member of NATO. So far, it is supporting the Ukrainian stance, and there is a political and military relations between Turkey and Ukraine. The relations between Turkey and Russia are good, but are not up to the level of Turkey being the mediator between the two parties. And I repeat here, mediation here is or the dialogue or negotiation between Washington and Moscow.